I'm seeing a fair amount of people complain about how there isn't exactly much originality in games anymore. But first, before getting into this subject, the game I'm playing today is called Raft. Clearly the name gives away what it's about, I guess. You start out on a small raft with no readily apparent goals, other than using the hook that you have to gather resources that are floating by you in a vast ocean. You can either play by yourself or with friends. In this video I'm playing by myself, simply trying to gather everything I can to increase my chances of survival. It's a good game to start talking about, as there have been countless survival games before it, many of which have been rehashes of already successful games, but this is where Raft takes a new leap forward. It's an original concept, first starting out as a free prototype on itch.io, but with the support of a great and constantly growing community, it was released on Steam on the 23rd of May in 2018, where it had already gained great reviews to say it is only an early access game. It seems rather promising, as they appear to be communicating well with the said community and are already planning on adding in a wide variety of wildlife, equipment, places to explore, things to craft, and with that promise, it looks like this game's already on its way to success, with how much you can actually already do in the game itself. Personally, I find it rather addicting from what I've already played. I'm already about 14 hours in, and I've always had a love for survival games. A few years ago, back when it was in its beta stage, I was playing Minecraft, and it was one of the games that at the time I just could not stop playing, and Raft seems to have that same ability to capture my interest, as it has a seemingly limitless replayability with the fact you can change up how you play in each world you create, which is a major factor in keeping people's interest like it does with me, ensuring that it isn't too linear or tedious so people get too bored. The threat of the shark that you saw at the beginning of the video is a really nice twist on it just being you or you and your friends stuck out in the water and just trying to expand your raft. It sort of gives you a hidden sense of urgency, as over time the shark will try to destroy what you've built so far, but don't forget though, it's just as dangerous to head into the sea while being circled by a great white. There are obviously ways you can fight back, as when the shark actually attacks your raft, you can fight back as long as you've crafted a spear and you have it on hand, otherwise your raft will actually slowly disappear chunk by chunk, so be careful with where you use your resources. On the topic of originality in games, one genre that I've seen everyone complain about a lot recently is Battle Royale, with people saying that everyone is just jumping on the bandwagon. I could say the same thing about zombie survival games back in 2013 though, as you could start out with DayZ Standalone or even the DayZ mod, but as soon as the Standalone was released, there was a vast amount of similarly themed games that followed suit, such as Rust, which many people had claimed it would be the DayZ killer. Then there was the War Z, which eventually became Infestation Survivor Stories. 7 Days to Die arrived not long after, and then the first State of Decay. At this point, everyone had started to sort of get bored of the same theme cropping up over the year, but without the hype over DayZ Standalone releasing and everyone jumping on to play, we wouldn't have had such a variety of different but also very similar games appear. But that's the way the world essentially works. Not everyone can think of a completely new, unique idea for a game that no one has played before, and that isn't purely restricted to the gaming world. Now, I want you to have a look at a completely different aspect of the internet. If you take a look at social media, one of the very first social media websites was Friendster, which was founded in 2002. It was a site you could make a profile on and add your friends and discover what friends they also had. Skip forward to 2003, MySpace had just been founded, and by the time 2006 came round, it was the most popular social network worldwide, allowing users to have their friends, to see the friends of friends, but also have a customization to their own profile, which essentially boosted its popularity. And by the time it became the most popular in 2006, it had released an instant messaging client for easy communication between people. But if we go back to 2004, to when Facebook was originally released as the Harvard-only social network, it didn't take long before it expanded quickly between other schools and businesses, and not long after to everyone in 2006. The reason I bring Facebook up is because it followed a similar idea to MySpace's profile customization, but the reason it gained more popularity was because it allowed people to share their photos, their videos, and how they were feeling, which was a new twist to the whole custom profile scene. So instead of having a unique and stylish profile that you created, everyone had the same basic profile, but what made each profile unique and personalised was that you could share whatever photos and videos, like I said, in that space. You could message one another, post on someone's wall, which is now known as a timeline for any of you who did not know that, which your friends and their friends could see. But it wasn't readily visible to the general public, as again, it was customizable in a way where you could choose what others could see on your own profile. Now, when you think about that, each website would have seen something that worked for another, as in Friendster would have seen something that worked for one previously, and then MySpace would have seen the whole friend system working for Friendster, taken that idea and added in the customization of a profile. And likewise for Facebook, they would have seen MySpace gaining success, taking the idea of the customizing the profiles, but instead of, say, adding a new skin to your profile, you uploaded photos and videos and statuses to create your own custom profile, but it looked extremely similar to everyone else's, so it was unique in a different way. There would have been many that failed to do this sort of thing, but the ones I mentioned were the ones that I know about that were able to capitalise on someone else's idea but essentially remix it into their own thing, which gained them success. But if we go back onto the whole Battle Royale controversy, PUBG came out and there was a stupendous amount of hype for it. So there's bound to be people wanting to take the idea for a Battle Royale and putting their own twist on it for their own success, like Fortnite did. Before the Battle Royale mode was added, it was simply a co-op sandbox survival game. But with them adding in the massive fight to the death for the chicken dinner, its popularity increased tenfold, creating another smash hit, just as PUBG was originally. With how much hype there was over both games, it became clear that others would also want to join in on the journey, so the games started to introduce the mode themselves, which slowly created the so-called oversaturation of the game mode. I'd like to add one thing though, and that is that there's never really an oversaturation of anything. There'll be many games that are similar, but some will gain success, but others will die off. It takes a good developer and a good unique twist to get the success that everyone's chasing. I could babble on for hours essentially explaining the whole thing about taking an idea, changing it up in your own way to show that that's how the world of media essentially works. Yes, there'll be those few that are completely new and unique ideas, but they seem to be one in a million nowadays. So I have a challenge for you guys. If you made it this far into the video, what I want you to do is write in the comments any idea that this video may have made you think about, even if it changed your perspective on how games, films or even music is made. And if there's any idea that you thought of, give a brief description of that idea you've had. If you're passionate enough about said idea, who's stopping you from chasing it? That's it from me guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.